Okay, this is a quick video to show how to reprovision a Polycom VVX phone. We obviously start with the phone. The first thing that we need to do is actually flip the phone over, and on the back here we're going to see what's known as a MAC address. It's a 12-character code that identifies the individual device, and in this case most Polycoms start with 0004 Foxtrot. Now, newer Polycoms actually start with a different sequence, but most of the older ones start with the 0004. Now, we are going to go ahead and apply power. In our case, we're using power over Ethernet, so all we need is the network cord. But in your case, you may also need to put the power adapter in. So always make sure you put the network cord in first, and then if you're using a power adapter, plug that in. Now we're watching the initial sequence. And what we're going to do is we're going to interrupt the boot sequence. Now this only works on a cold boot where we're applying fresh power. The password we're going to use here is not what is used once it is booted up. So we cancel the original startup, and now we're at the welcome. And actually, cancel out of that. Okay, and we want to hit the sequence of 1, 3, 5. That's the 1, 3, and 5 button, and now you're going to see it says enter password. Now that password is that MAC address that we had noted earlier. So that's 0004 Foxtrot 27 Delta 0 Charlie Foxtrot 2 is what we're going to put in. Now you'll notice this button right here, you see it says 1 and then has an arrow to a capital A and a lowercase a. That is a toggle switch. So right now it's in number mode. That is what is on the left side. I can change it to capital letters and then small letters. Since we're starting with 0004 numbers, we're going to start in, if I can get this on the screen here, we're going to start in number mode. So the first thing we do is put in our 0004. Now we need to put in the letter F. So we're going to change to capital letters, and you'll notice the F is the third letter on the 3 button. So we have to press that 3 times. So 1, 2, 3, now we have our F. Now we go back to numbers, and we put in our 2 and our 7. Then we go back to letters, capital letters, and we put in D, which is the first letter. So we're just going to put 1 press for the D. Go back to numbers, put in our 0. Go back to letters. Now we have, now we have 2 letters, which is the C, which is 3 presses of the 2, and 1 press of the, or 3 presses of the 3, which is the F, 1, 2, 3, and then we go back to numbers, put in our 2. Now we've put in the entire MAC address as the password. This, on the round button here, the middle button is your OK, so now you say OK, or you could press the OK button. Now you'll see that it says configuration reset, so that means it accepted the password. If it tells you the password is incorrect, obviously you need to type it back in. The best thing to do is simply remove the power and start the sequence all over again, and to get the correct MAC address in. Once we've done that, it will go through this sequence, and we're again going to interrupt the configuration. Give it a second. Now we're going to cancel the startup, and now we want to go into setup mode. What we need to do, okay, the password here is the default administrator password, which is 456. Then again, okay. And we're going to put in our provisioning server information at the top. That tells it where to get its configuration file. So the first thing we want to do is the server type, hit edit, and then right click till you see HTTP, and then go ahead and say OK. Now it automatically goes down to the server address, which again we need to edit. And what we're going to do is put in provision.voicicity.net. Now these are all letters, and so we come back here, we make sure we're in our lowercase mode, which we are, and now we're going to put in the letters. P is obviously 1 press of the 7, so P. Now, because the P and the R are on the same button, we want to wait a second, and we'll see that the cursor moves to the right of the P. That means it's ready for the next character. So now we put in our R, which is 3 presses, 1, 2, 3, and you'll see that we have the PR. and then O, V, I, S, I, O, N, and then the period is actually the star button down here. And so we'll press that one time, and now we see we have the period at the end, and then V. At any point in time, if we make a mistake, we can undo that character with the left button, and you'll see that character goes away. So now V, O, I, C, oops, or you can just scroll through, C, I, S, I, T, Y, dot, again, and net, N, E, T. Now once that is in there and it shows correctly provision.voicicity.net and the HTTP, we say OK, and then we say exit, and then exit again. It's going to ask us to save and reboot. Select that, and now we'll go through its sequence. Now as it reboots, we're going to let it reboot. It's going to reboot several times. And what I'm going to do is pause here until it comes up. Like I said, it's going to reboot several times. It pulls up several different configuration files, and each time it'll reboot them. So it may reboot 3 or 4 times before it actually comes up with all of the information. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and stop this. What we'll do is we'll send you a separate picture which shows you what the end result is. Essentially on the sides here we'll have the extension numbers showing there so that you know that it has provision.